Hi guys, welcome back to ASP.NET MVC tutorial. I'm Ashish. So this is part 27 of this video series. Now in this tutorial, I'm gonna add registration functionality on my website using bootstrap and jQuery. So this is nothing but an inserting data into database, which I have already been discussing in my previous tutorial. So I'm just creating this tutorial because of my viewers' request. So hopefully this is gonna be very helpful for revising all the basic topics that have been discussed earlier. Okay, so let's get started. So here are the steps that I'm gonna follow. So in the first step, I will just create a registration view page. In the second step, I will just create a view model for site user class. So here the site user class is nothing but my database table where I'm supposed to insert my data. Okay, so here the site user is the volatile class. That's why I'm adding an extra class for this, which will have the same property like in site user class. Okay, and in the step third, I will just create a form using HTML helper. Okay, and in the final step, I will just make an Ajax call to save my data. Okay, so let's move to the database. So here you can find I have just added this table site user. Here right now I am having one record, and if you notice that at the last column I have added this role ID. Okay, so this role ID is referencing to this role table where I have added the three roles, that is admin, super admin and user. So with this role ID you can easily identify that this user is nothing but an admin, because here I have added the role ID 1, so you can easily find the role ID is 1 for admin. Okay, now let's move to the Visual Studio. So here in the previous tutorial I have just created this example where I was supposed to divide my page into 3:9 ratios. So here you can find the view. Okay, so now I will just move to the first step. Okay, so first I will just stop my application, and my step first would be I will just create registration view page. So it's very easy. Just copy this and paste it here and just name it, just double click on this, registration. Okay, and I will just add, just right click on this and add view. Okay, and just click on add button. So it will be adding your registration page. So here I have completed my first step. Now in the second step I will just create a view model for site user. Okay, so here in the entity framework, if you see that here you can find the site user class. Okay, and I will just copy all the property mentioned here. Just copy this except this virtual user role. Okay, I will discuss in a later video session what is this virtual class. Okay, now just right click on your model and just add one more class and just name it registration. Okay, view model. Okay, and now add this. Okay, and just copy and paste that property into your view model. Okay, so I will just use this view model on my view page. Okay, so just copy this property, this class, and on your registration page just put @ and model space your tutorial name MVC tutorial, your application name, MVC tutorial dot models dot. Here you can find your ViewModel class. Okay, so I'm just pasting it here. Okay, so I have just strongly binded here. So here you can see in this third step I will just create a form using HTML helper. Okay, so let's get started. So first of all, I will just make sure that to make okay, first start creating a form. Okay, and using HTML helper. Okay, so first use the bootstrap classes, so I will just add form group, so the form group class can manage all the things. Okay, so add motif, that is make it add class equal to call MD class. Let's say I'm just using call MD12. Later on I will just remove that. Okay, and now use the HTML helper here. Now text box 4. So to strongly bind your model, just use this. So I'm using the lambda expression m dot. So here is your property. You can see all the property here. So in the database, what is my first column? You can see, so user ID, username, email ID. So I'm just adding the username first. Username, and you can put a comma, and you can add @class. You can add bootstrap class here. So just add class form control. So just copy this 2 to 3 times. 1 2 3. How many columns are there? 1 2 3 4. Okay, and 5 is automatically be done. And let's see 5 here. Okay, so I have covered username. Now second would be email ID. Okay, and third would be my password. Okay, and the fourth would be my address. Okay, and just delete this column, delete this text box, and add an anchor. Okay, href hash, and give a class btn space btn, let's say primary. Okay, and now submit this registration. Submit. Okay, and you can write a on-click method here. On-click. So I will just call register user, register user function. Okay, so I will create register user function. Okay, so I'm supposed to insert my username, email ID, password, and this address. Okay, now first try to run this, and let's see what's gonna happen. So here you go. So let's try to decorate it. Okay, so from my index page I'm just copying one more thing, that is I'm just copying this layout. Just copy this and paste it here, and I will just add this form at the right side of this. Okay, Control X, Control V. Okay, now try to refresh this. Here you go. Okay, now I have just created a template for decorating this left bar. So I'm just replacing the left side, this panel body. I'm just replacing it with this one. Okay, and this, I'm just deleting this. Okay, now let's try to run this. Here you go. And now one thing is need to be done. Control X, Control Y. Just put that in panel. Okay, so just paste it here, and now delete this. So that it could have some padding. Okay, and let's add one more panel class equal to panel body. Okay, and let's add Control X, Control V. Save it, and now refresh this. Okay, so here you find your registration page, and now the one thing is that you just need to add placeholder for everything. Just add placeholder equals, and now you can put username. Okay, and then just copy this and paste it here, paste it here, and paste it here. And just copy this and paste it here. Now make it address. Okay, and for email ID, just copy and paste it here. So now here you can see your registration page. Okay, so username, email ID, password, and address. Okay, so now the final step would be my Ajax call. Okay, so here on the button click, I'm just calling this function. Okay, so let me call this function here. So define a script tag, and in the script tag just write a function, just define it as var, okay, equals to function, just make it function, and okay, inside this inside this function I will just submit this form. So here is my form, and let's make it ID. Just give an ID. So let's call my form. Okay, and use var data equals $. I will access that form using ID. So hash this form dot, okay, serialize. Okay, and now the time is to submit this form using Ajax call. So $.ajax. Now inside this, pass. The first step is type equals post and type colon post, and now specify your URL. URL must be /test/ register user. Okay, now this would be my now put a comma and just specify your data. So data would be data, so that data I will pass it here. Okay, and now the third thing is success function. So on success I will call a function. Okay, and here I will get the response if I supposed to return response. Okay, now alert success, control KD. Okay, so this is very easy to call a function. So I will just put a debugger so that I can analyze if any errors getting into my ways. Okay, now create this method on your controller. Okay, so where is your, just open your test controller and just stop this. So just copy this method as it is and just replace your name and just write http post. Okay, so here on your view, I just delete this layout page and delete this diagram, edmx file, and this is your site user. I don't need this. So here is your registration view model. Okay, and open your views page, and here you will see your registration. Okay, so I'm submitting the data, the model data here, registration view model. So here I will receive the data as a parameter. Okay, so here model data. Okay, now let's put a breakpoint here and go to your registration page and just run this. So here you are. Now I'm just writing the name. Let's see, let's name Ashish, email ID a@b.com, and the password would be 123. So here is the password visible right now. Okay, so I will just give you a solution for this. So address may be India. Okay, so first I'm gonna check whether it is hitting my controller or not. Okay, so here you can find in the model data, if you hover on it, then you will find all the data has been passed here. So here you can find address, email ID, password. Okay, so here you can see I have not passed the role ID. Okay, so by default I will pass the role ID as 3 because I'm just registering as an user. So I will just put by default it as 3. Okay, so let's continue this, and instead of text box just use .password 4. Okay, and now refresh this. Now this time you can't see your password. Okay, so if I write some password here, so you can't see. Okay, now let's try to save my data at the server side. So I am receiving all the data in this view model, so I need to put that data into my entity classes. Okay, here you can see in the views, that is in the model folder, if you see, I need to pass this all properties data, that is this control function F12. Okay, so here you can see I have just defined this property here. Okay, so I need to pass this all data into this site user table. Okay, because entity framework accepts this table data as a parameter. Okay, now just create the context. The first step is to create the context of your application, your database. Okay, so I have just created the context of that. Now here I have my model data. I have received all the data in as a parameter. Now I will just create a class for this site user table. Site user equal to new site user. Okay, and I will just add site user dot. Okay, so I will just get the username equals. Okay, so this should be equal to my model data. So model dot user name. Okay, and site user dot what else, email ID equal model dot email ID, and site user again site user dot password equals model dot password. Okay, and site user dot address equals model dot address. Okay, now the last thing is site user dot what should be your last, that is column, this is role ID. So as a role ID I will just pass as 3. Okay, so by default I will just pass 3 as a role ID. Okay, so site user, what else left? So username, email ID, password and address, and role ID is done. Okay, so let's remove this, and now use db dot what is your table name, site users. Okay, just site users dot add, pass this. Okay, So this table, this site user, this command is going to accept this parameter. Okay, so that's why I have just put all the model data into site user. Okay, now the last thing is that the db.save changes, because without this command, this method, your data will not be saved. Okay, now run this and check it. Okay, so here you go. So just write test, says test register user. It is not existing. What is my registration page? This is test registration. Okay, and now I'm passing the so Donald @gmail.com and password, let's say 12345 and USA. Okay, now I'm gonna submit it. So here I got all the data. Here you can see password, email ID, role ID is null. Okay, now step over. So use, if you have a laptop, then you can just go step over, like put function F10. Okay, so here you can see. Now in the site you can see Donald, email ID, password, and here, and again function F10 and save changes. Okay, and now return this. So here you also got your save changes password. Now let's try to check the database. Okay, now execute this. Okay, now here you can see 2 Donald @gmail.com USA and 3 role ID. Okay, so save it. Now, so this is all about registering an user. Okay, so you can create a good design for this. I have designed this for temporary reason, and you can clearly see your form. So your form has all the text boxes. So this form group class can be very helpful for designing purpose. So here you can see the good padding is here, and also on the button, let's try the button block. So button block I will not recommend, because it will cover all the width. Okay, so this is all about the adding registration functionality to your form, to your website. Okay, so thanks for watching my tutorial. If you like it, then give a thumbs up, and if you have any comment, then please do comment, and don't forget to subscribe my channel and share my videos to your friend and help them. Okay, so thank you very much. Have a great day.